Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Friday. Today, let's talk about Bitcoin, why it's so bullish, and why it will reach $1 million by this date. Okay, there's a lot to talk about today. Let's keep it light and loose since it's Friday. Let's have a good Q&A session and talk about everything else that's going on in the world of crypto. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Bitcoin is starting out, not bad. A little bit higher than yesterday, but overall still hovering. We'll see how the day goes. But a lot of alts are doing very well today, including a lot of memes are still pushing higher. The U.S. market is opening green. That's good. 8-day winning streak, you see right there. That's pretty darn good. As people are still wondering what's going on with rate cuts. Is it going to come and when, right? That's what people are digesting. But I think all Wall Street overall is thinking that it's going to come, despite what some other Fed governors are saying. Now, I saw this, and I didn't know why this needs to be on the front page. I'm not talking about Novavax. I'm talking about Apple apologizes for iPad Pro. And I'm well, this relates to a crypto project, but I saw this. I'm like, why are they apologizing? What are they apologizing for? Right? I'm just gonna show this ad real quick because I don't think there's anything he needed to apologize for. But let's just play this real quick. Basically, it compresses everything, and then it turns into iPad. So, I don't know. Like, to me, I guess people that are mad at this have never watched a Mr. Beast video because Mr. Beast videos are way more wasteful than this. He goes and smashes and destroys everything. So, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I think people just like to complain about anything there is. But how this relates to crypto is this right here, this new iPad Pro, right? If you look at the advertisement, it does say, it does utilize this one GPU specific software called Octane. And yes, that is the software created by the people who created the project Render. So there are a lot of rumors that Apple and Render do have some kind of official relationship, okay? Although Apple still doesn't say it. And we don't know if Octane really uses the Render network to process anything. It's supposed to be some GPU software that's better at rendering, 3D, AI, gaming stuff. Created by the companies behind Render. But, nevertheless, Render is going up because of it, 11%. After it was mentioned that they are using Octane. So again, it's a weird indirect relationship. But if Apple does somehow say, hey, we're utilizing the decentralized network of Render so that we could get more compute power, right, on this shared GPU network, that would cause Render to go to the moon. But they're not saying that yet. However, I just thought I should bring that up since I saw that people are mad at the ad for some reason. Anyways, what else is going on? Well, as for Bitcoin, bull market correction downwards, okay? And this is very encouraging. And again, it shows how tame our current drawdown really is. You look at some of the past drawdowns from past cycles. First one 49%, second one 71%, third one 36%, fourth one 63%. Those are the max ones. And this cycle, actually, this says 20%, but we're a little bit higher. We were at 23% or whatever, right? But it shows you how tame this cycle is. Imagine having a max drawdown of 63%, which we saw last cycle. 63%, that is insane. That would be going from where we are now into the 20s. Imagine that. Imagine how many people turn bearish if Bitcoin fell down to 20s right now. That would be absolutely insane, right? So again, it shows you how different this cycle is and how strong Bitcoin is. Despite falling down 20-something%, it's nowhere close to some of the previous drawdowns we had in previous cycles. Those cycles harden you, okay? It takes a lot of conviction and faith. You have to dig down deep to continue holding when something goes down 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% down, right? Having conviction holding down 20%, still hard, but not nearly as hard as those. That's why some of us just, ignore the volatility and we continue on our way no matter what happens, because we've lived through some of the worst times ever in crypto history, right? So keep that in mind. As for Grayscale, unfortunately sold $43 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. We had a little bit of outflow yesterday, even though the others mostly bought, like BlackRock bought 14 million. It was small buys from the other ETFs. Grayscale still, we always worry about Grayscale. 43 million ramped up. We had 2 green days of inflow. One that 0, and then we had a minus 43. But we'll see. We'll see how it is. Besides the ETFs, we do have they're now dubbed the Japanese version of MicroStrategy, Metaplanet, because they're following the same strategy. They just decided to purchase more Bitcoin. Another basically 20 Bitcoin, and now they have 118 worth about 7.4 million, which doesn't sound a lot like if you compare that to MicroStrategy or anyone else. But there are a lot of companies that are embracing Bitcoin now. So MicroStrategy is like leading the way. They're the case study, and now everyone else is like, hey, it worked out for them, so why not us? So it just goes to show you got more and more public trade companies, private companies, institutions, financial companies, banks, whatever. They're all starting to load up a little bit more, and it's all going to add up. This is why I talk about supply shock all the time. It's happening. There's only so much supply. Inflation rate was just cut in half, and the demand keeps going up and up and up and up and up, right? That's why you got to stay strong, stay focused, and continue to DCA so that the gains come to you. All right, and then speaking of gains, where are we going to see Bitcoin at? Well, this guy doesn't explain what moving average this is. He just refers it as this yellow line. But I'm sure it's some kind of moving average. And you could see every single cycle, Bitcoin either hits it or surpasses it. The last one, we barely hit it, but we didn't surpass. See, that's why Bitcoin should have gone to 100,000 in 2021, but because the Fed stopped it. If the Fed didn't announce rate hikes coming up, Bitcoin would have hit 100,000. That was like set in stone already, but we'll hit 100,000 this cycle, no problem. But you can see 2017, we also surpassed it while hitting 20,000. And in 2013, we broke in and hit $1,000. Okay, so first time 1,000, then we went to 20,000, then we went to 69,000, and now how high will we go? If we touch this yellow line right now, it will be around $125,000. But you can see the yellow line is starting to flip upwards, which means it could ramp up really quickly. By the time we hit it and surpass it, Bitcoin, this time around, if we're going to hit the top of the channel like the previous 2 cycles, that's going to put Bitcoin somewhere between $300,000 to $500,000, right? So keep that in mind. If we're hitting the top of the cycle, just like in 2021 and 2017, Bitcoin is going to be like around $300,000, $400,000. That's the end of 2025, guys. That's not the end of 2030 or 2028 or whatever. It's the end of 2025. That's next year. And it's not the only thing that shows Bitcoin's going up. I mean, near term, we're in this pattern called bullish megaphone. It's funny, but it's true. But yeah, you could see what happens in a bullish megaphone, right? We're going to break that megaphone pattern and then utilize that support and then continue forward, right? And according to this, the estimation is 180,000. So let's say we don't go to 200,000 or 300,000 and we go to 180,000. You know what? Would I be disappointed? No. I think 180,000 nearing 200,000 is just fine. It's a conservative estimate, but you know what? I would be fine with that. If Bitcoin is at 180,000, Solana is going to be at like $3,000 and everything else is going to be sky high to the moon, so it wouldn't even really matter anyways, right? But of course, this cycle with so much money coming in, with the supply shock happening right now, and the ETFs causing so much FOMO, who knows? 180,000 could be where we're at the beginning of next year, not even the mid or end of next year. We could end this year around $130,000, $140,000. So we'll see. We'll see. But of course, if you want to stretch it out a little bit, you want to go a little bit beyond this cycle, where is Bitcoin going to be? Well, what about this magical $1 million mark? 7 digits for a single Bitcoin, which seems impossible at this time. But once Bitcoin gets to 200,000, it's not going to seem that impossible anymore because it's only requiring 5x to go to a million, right? Well, Jack Dorsey, who just one of the Bitcoin bulls out there, and he just was interviewed, and he says Bitcoin's going to be at 1 million by 2030. And he's not alone. A lot of people think 1 million by 2030 is a reality. And that's only 6 years away from now. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. You think sometimes you just have to wait forever. But you know what? Imagine just waiting 6 years for it to be at $1 million each. That means if your whole coin are at 1, you'll be a millionaire already in 6 years. I mean, that's not that long to wait. If you have 2, if you have 5, if you have 10, you just multiply that by a million. That's a lot. And that's not even the most bullish scenario. Cathie Wood thinks that by the time we hit 2030, Bitcoin could be $3.8 million. Yeah, that's right. She used to think it was going to be 1.5 million. Now she thinks by 2030 Bitcoin could be at $3.8 million. And she's saying that because if 5% of institutional investors put their allocation to Bitcoin, that's how high Bitcoin would be. Just 5% of their portfolio, right? $3.8 million by 2030. Now that is nutty. That is insanely nutty. You could be a centimillionaire in 6 years just by holding on enough Bitcoins, or even a billionaire. I mean, just think about that. That's absolutely nutty. So things are looking good, guys. Bullish stuff always happening in the space. You never want to get feared out of the market. Myro Holder, yes, they are legit. Cryptos R Us Plus is my side channel, and 30 Degens are guys on my team that are streaming. I don't know why you keep tweeting and keep DMing that. It's legit. I have it in my description. All right, what else is there? Pantera Capital backs Telegram, Ton. I've been talking a lot about Ton recently because they just keep going up and up and up and up and up. Pantera backs them. A lot of VCs are backing them to create all these like new dApps that's go right on top of Ton. Here's one that's launching soon. Bybit's gonna launch something called Notcoin. They spent a lot of time on a name, you could tell. But it's supposed to be some play to earn game and token integrated as a mini app on Telegram. And, it's just an example, okay? Example of what's going on Telegram. And you got USDT now on there. You got meme coins that are trading. You got a whole lot of stuff trading on Toncoin. So Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Speaking of memes, I gotta give shout out to Chuck, which is now over $30 million. Last night I brought them up and they were like at 25, and a few days before they were like at 18. This meme is just going crazy on base right now. Absolutely crazy. And that is one of the most stable charts you'll ever find in any meme coin project. That is pretty steady, upwards, upwards. So good for them. Speaking of 30 Degens, they're the ones that found this, and they have this in their portfolio, and it is skyrocketing. All right. That is pretty much it. Hey, I do have an announcement with my partner, and this is good because it's free money. Why wouldn't you want free money? So I partnered with BitUnix recently, guys, and I did this for a couple reasons. Number one is because something like MEXC is going to kick you out. If you're in the US, KYC will be implemented in June, and there's no way for a user in the US to use it anymore. You can't do KYC. And many other changes have kicked out US users, right? But Unix is still open, which is good. No KYC, no VPN required. So I partnered up with them, and they have been pretty darn good. And you know what? I'm going to do this competition with them, which basically allows you guys to make free money. That's really it. So for the next week, you have to enter. So I'll have the link in the description, which I actually forgot to put. But all you have to do is enter. For the next 10 days, you have this entry period. And then after that, you basically trade. You get basically a free $20 bonus for just making one trade. And for those of you guys that do like to do a lot of leverage trading, you'll get free SOL based on your trading volume. That's it. You don't even have to compete against anyone else. It's just basically getting free SOL for trading what you would be doing anyways, right? So if you're interested, sign up for the next week. That's the registration period. And then it'll start next week. All right. That's it. Let's do some Q&A.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larsen.
Sorry, I don't know why that came up. I just added it to the description. Sorry. All right. Let me scroll up here. Let's see if I missed any good comments or questions. Happy Friday, guys. Super Profici says 2 months of sideways max. We're not too far off. Benjamin Winter says 1,000 SOL is possible, maybe more. I definitely think that's possible. I mean, considering we already hit 200 maybe like a month ago, I mean, to go from 200 to 1,000 is relatively easy in a bull market. Let's see. Cardano can't hold $1 in a bull market. Well, you know what? It surprised a lot of people in the last cycle hitting $3. So do I think it'll get back up there? I think so. I think so. It'll take some time, but it'll get back up there. Any reason why Matic hasn't pumped, even in the most recent run? Supposed to be my top favorite for the bull run for a high expectation. I don't know why they're not running, but I have been hearing things from behind the scenes. And Matic, I don't know, they seem a little confused. They're going a different direction. They're pushing all of their games away from their chain into Immutable. and they're trying to be like just a DeFi chain. They're competing with all the L2s, which I guess Sandeep and team think that they're losing against really badly because Polygon used to be the top L2. Now they're nowhere close to the top. So they're kind of rebranding themselves, trying to figure things out with Polygon 2. And that may be the reason why. NMCT, European regulators are talking about approving UCIT, allocating some into Bitcoin. We will see a steady rise similar to US ETFs. Maybe. I don't even know what UCITS is, but if it just means a whole bunch of money sitting there and they're able to invest now into something like Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETFs, then yes. Why are you not a fan of Dogecoin? I'm not a fan, but I just look at the upside. Doge is already at 21 billion. What's the upside to that? Can it really do a 10x to 210 billion? The likelihood of that is much smaller than something smaller doing a 10x. And something smaller can do 20x or 50x or 100x, right? So it's not that I really hate Dogecoin. It's just that the upside is limited. So when it comes to memes, you want to, it's like a lottery ticket, right? You want to make a lot of money from it. And Doge is so big, it's just harder. And without Elon's support, really nothing's going on with Doge. I mean, the only reason why they're even this high is because of Elon. And he has not done anything with Doge yet. Besides, except a few things in Tesla store. That's it. Evan Hall. Do you think when the market goes parabolic that Jupiter at its peak can hit 30 billion market cap? Let's see. What is, let's see what Uniswap's all-time high is. Uniswap's all-time high for market cap is about 22 billion. So is there a chance that Jupiter could hit 30 billion market cap? There's a chance, but considering they're still like 1 point something, I'd say more likely, 20 billion, 15 billion, that's conservative and likely. 30 billion, I think Solana and memes have to like really blow up like to insane levels, then yeah, it could probably happen. Siricorn, convert my ETH back to BTC and AI coins. I don't know. I can't tell you to do that, but I feel your frustration with the ETH. The only thing good about ETH is you can bridge it to base and buy memes with it. I feel like that's the best thing you could do with ETH right now. Rocky Top. Still have 20% of my portfolio at XRP. What projects do you think would outperform? I sold off 30% of XRP for AI gaming. Well, Solana, for example. If you want to look for chains, Solana is going to be the strongest one of this cycle for sure. But then you got others. I just talked about Render. Render has been super hot. And if they really do get official, like, not sponsorship, official partnership with Apple, that's going to send them more to the moon. They're part of the DePIN play. A lot of DePIN plays, a lot of AI plays, which you're already involved. And of course, memes. I think a lot of memes are going to really lead this market. What's your BTC all-time high? Max 102K, sell orders at 100K? No. No. If it hits 100K, it's going to hit 150K, and it's going to hit 200K. I don't know. I just feel like 100K is way too low. And if we have that kind of momentum where we hit 100K in no time, man, that FOMO's going to kick in, and we're going to go a lot higher than 100K. That's my opinion. I don't think we're going to stop. So, looking at today, most things are in green. Solana 7%. Look at Tongue Coin 17%. They're just way too hot right now. I would not buy Tongue at right now. It's just too high. I forgot. Near Protocol is another one that's been doing really well because of AI push. Render's up 8% today. Pepe's up 9% today. WIF up 11%. Pepe is like really breaking away from WIF. WIF have been like weaker recently, but Pepe's been getting a lot of strength. And they're not even on Coinbase. That's actually quite amazing. Immutable having a good day, 12%. Graph 15%. Arweave 17%. Got some good movers today. Injective up 16%. I just covered about Injective 3.0 coming up, which will make them a lot more deflationary. Kosh up 21% in a DePIN play. Or space, I should say. Ondo RWA space. Good movers today. SCR, hey George, would a self-custody hot wallet where you store the seed phrase be just as secure as Trezor Ledger? How secure do you think exchange like Jupiter compares to Trezor or Ledger? Secure? That has nothing to do with it. You can't compare the security of cold wallets to a DEX. It's all about where you store. Here's the reality. Like, what you're asking is, okay, can, say, MetaMask be as secure as Ledger? The answer is yes. It just depends on if you know what you're doing, right? Ultimately, with Ledger or Trezor, even with the PIN code and the USB that's offline, you still have to store that seed phrase. If that seed phrase gets stolen, your crypto will be stolen regardless if it's ever plugged in. It has nothing to do with it. It's almost a false sense of security. But I get the reason why people see them as more secure is because it prevents you from making mistakes, right? Like, for example, if you have your MetaMask open and your computer gets hijacked because of a phishing, attack or a malware or something, they can instantly, access your MetaMask. Because there's no really 2FA after you already enter your password, right? It's just sitting there. But with a Ledger and Trezor, they can't do that because you're going to unplug them, right? So if your computer gets hijacked, they can't access anything. But if you stored your seed phrase on your computer and they hijack and they get that, then your Trezor and Ledger is just as unsecure. So I think it just comes down to like human error, whether you get hacked. But seed phrase is the most important thing that you need to secure. I don't know if that makes sense. Taco. Thoughts on Chuck? I already talked about Chuck. They're just like absolutely on fire right now. I mean, they're going up as much as Costco hot dog back in the day. So they might be at 100 million soon. Who knows? Yeah, WIF isn't on Coinbase either. That's the thing. When WIF gets, I don't know why Coinbase is taking so long, but if Coinbase adds WIF or Pepe or both, they will both skyrocket. That's the beauty. Is right now you have all these memes that are skyrocketing, and retail investors, they actually can't really buy them. They can't FOMO in. But once they can, I mean, you're going to see a ton more money flow into them. Is Pika Moon the next Axie DeFi kingdom? If it's what I'm thinking, $10 million. Probably not. They're too new. Played to earn. The graphics don't look bad. I just don't know if you could actually do anything right now. It says play beta. Sounds like it's still in development. See, whenever you see like stuff like this, look at this banner on top. Is now trading on all these exchanges. They're trying too hard to get you to buy. Even the front page right here, rather than learn about the game, the first thing they tell you is you could buy the token on BigMXC, Uniswap, and Bitmart, right? That's trying way too hard to get you to try to buy the token. That's a red flag. That's a big red flag, in my opinion. Any safety tips or seed phrase? Hey, there's a number of ways to do it. You can write it on a piece of paper, put it in a safety deposit box. You can stamp it onto aluminum card and store that in a safety deposit box, which is probably better. Because if there's ever a fire in the bank, you know, the sprinklers go off, that paper's gonna get ruined. So it's probably better to stamp it on like one of those aluminum cards or copper cards. You could store it around their house. You can have 2 copies. You could give a copy to someone like a lawyer. You know, it's just a matter of how safe you want it to be. SCR, you're welcome. Alabaster says, you made me kind of rich. Good. Good. Kind of rich? You're either rich or you're not. So if you say you're kind of rich, you're probably rich, so it's good. So I'm waiting for you to buy me a Cybertruck. You tell me when you're ready to buy me a Cybertruck, and I will gladly accept it as a thank you gift. Do you feel Harmony will make a comeback? You know, the bull market probably will, but I'm off that bandwagon. I heard too much shady stuff happening about that team and what they did when things were going down. I'm just not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. Man, Chuck is gonna go to like 31 million. So you know this nasty drop this morning. Someone sold 100K of this, and it just recovered like it's nothing. First of all, to be able to take 100K hit in one sell is crazy, but it took that and it just came right back up like it was nothing. That shows you how strong this meme is. Those of you guys that are traders, even if you're not, you should just open an account because you're going to get some free money and you're going to get kicked off of MXC anyways. You guys should sign up and get some free SOL since you're going to be trading anyways. Dan says, I feel like people are overly bullish on Solana. Why do you think so? Why do you think people are overly bullish? Man, thank you for that. I was just kidding about Cybertruck. But congratulations, though. I'm glad. I mean, that's the point, right? The point of being crypto is to become rich. I know, yeah, people talk about the technology and decentralization and taking power away from the governments. Those are all great side benefits. The main benefit is to get rich. And if you got rich from crypto, congratulations. And if you didn't get rich yet, continue to hold on DCA and pick up the good ones, and you will get there. Alabaster, thank you. Big super chat. There's no KYC right now, Robert. Right now, I mean, basically everyone knows this, okay? The reality is, if you're in the US, eventually all foreign exchanges will be off limits to you. Because eventually, if any of the exchanges get big enough, they'll be targeted by the SEC, right? So right now, it's kind of like a cat and mouse game. MEXC is voluntarily going to implement KYC because they don't want to be sued like KuCoin. So, and that's because MEXC is relatively big. So now it's like, okay, what do? You have to get off and get into something else. So it's just kind of like a cat. Eventually, in the US, you won't be able to use any of these. Or you have to get another ID, or you use VPN, and maybe they don't require KYC, or you just give up and just go completely DEXs, which is fine, you know. A lot of people, more and more people are using DEXs, and they're getting better by the day. So, you know, maybe eventually for those of us in the US, we just have to just rely on DEXs. Is HNT legit still? Yeah. But I'm more interested in their Helium Mobile side than Helium side. Helium side is still there. You can mine with those antennas, create 5G networks and Wi-Fi networks. But their mobile network is really, you know, you use a token to trade data, basically. Iceman. Jordan, my car in 1988 when I was a senior was a Porsche 944. Why did 928? Because of the movie Risky Business, but my parents said no. Watch that movie. That was my life. I was too young back then, man. So you're a little bit older than me, so I was too young. I don't know what movie that is. If I get super bored, I'll check it out. Max says bull run over. I don't know why you felt compelled to make that statement because it certainly isn't. Simon says, I have 3 Helium Mobile 5G and using that network right now. Yeah, see, what's beautiful about that is they're using the T-Mobile network and their own 5G network that's powered by people mining helium. And I hear it's $20 a month. Unlimited data, unlimited text, or whatever. It sounds like it's a great deal. It really does sound like it's a great deal. I haven't tried it yet, but I should. The token for Helium Mobile, 168 million. Not bad. Helium itself is up today. 800 million. They're at 5.22 billion, right? They still have to do like a 6x. Yeah, like a 6x to get back to their previous high. What do you think about Say? I don't know. I think they were propped up by all the other Cosmos chains. They were all doing very well. I think they got lifted up too. I don't know. I think they're still promising. Let's just put it that way. Do you have any crypto clothes? I do, but not many. I don't go out of my way to buy crypto clothes. Sometimes I pick them up at conferences, but that's it. I don't want to take my Solana hat off wearing it everywhere I go. Good for you. I don't even have a Solana hat. I did see a cool Solana pair of Air Force Ones in Dubai at Token 2049. I think they partnered up with someone to make it, but it actually looks pretty cool. little dip. Little dip. Hopefully it's not too big. What's with the XRP FUD? What FUD? I show only the most educational video ever created about XRP. I don't know what FUD you're talking about. Everyone's talking about Risky Business. Never heard of that movie before, never watched it. I may have to. Mr. Littlebags, thank you. Dan, that'll never happen. And Crow is retired for good. He said he does not want to fight anymore. So... People say Dogecoin is aiming up for a God cross. Any thoughts? Yeah, don't listen. Don't listen to it. I've never heard of Risky Business. What? You guys are making me feel like I should, but no, never heard of it. It's the movie that made Tom Cruise popular. Isn't that Top Gun? Astro Magnus says young Tom Cruise. It's a mid movie. It sounds like it. It sounds like it would be a mid movie. You know, storytelling of movies, on the good movies, are way better now than before. Just like if you watch the new Top Gun Maverick versus the original Top Gun, and I hate to say it, the new Top Gun Maverick is way better at storytelling, and it's a way better movie than the original Top Gun. With that said, there's not a lot of great movies like that though now. Dude, you guys are talking about a movie when I was like 7 or 8 years old. I'm not gonna watch all the movies back then. I barely came to America then. I didn't even know English then. So that's probably the reason why. Thoughts on Titanic 2, The Return of Jack? Stop it. Titanic was a great movie. Whether people wanted to admit it or not, Titanic was a great movie. I just hate movies where it's like based on a historical event and you know what's going to happen, right? Like there was no way Titanic wasn't going to crash and everyone's going to die, right? Like you knew that was going to happen. So that's the only bad thing about historical movies. Risky Business was out in 83. Yeah, I was like, I probably couldn't even walk back then. I don't know what people are talking about. Of course, I would not have watched it. It's funny, like if you look at a comparison of like the biggest cruise ship we have, was it Wonder of the Seas? I think it's Wonder. No, it's not Wonder. It's one of the Royal Caribbean ones. But if you like put that next to the Titanic, it dwarfs it. It's like twice as big or 3 times as big. It's crazy how big cruise ships have gotten versus like the Titanic back in the day. Yeah, Stefan, you're definitely a decade older than me, if not more. Risky business introduced Dogecoin. Um, Interesting fact about Dogecoin. Um, in case you guys didn't know, it's the 3rd oldest crypto. It was forked from Litecoin, and Litecoin was forked from Bitcoin. So it's actually pretty close to Bitcoin in terms of code wise. Max, no. Harmonies of the Sea is not the biggest. They have Oasis, Symphony. I think Wonder is the newest one. Harmony is one of the older ones. Joe asks, why do I always turn dry powder fiend when crypto dips comes around? I don't know. I mean, if you have dry powder, you got cash, then you should be able to take advantage, right? Or are you saying you don't want to take advantage? I don't know what you're trying to say. Do I have a theater room in my house? No, I have a nice setup in the basement, but like these days, who really watches movies? It's like I really don't have that much time to watch movies. I play 2K when people are around. That's about it. Like maybe some sports. Don't really have that much time to watch movies. Sometimes we do upstairs, but like not a real dedicated theater room. Eventually, when I'm too old to play basketball, I'll convert my basketball court into a nice theater room. Should I dump my Matic for Chuck? I can't tell you to do that. And that's, with any meme, it's very, very, very risky. Okay? Just know that. It can dump out of the blue. Just yesterday, someone was talking about Roost or whatever. And it dumped 90-something% out of the blue. I don't know if they rugged or some insider just decided to sell or what. But you got to be careful because they can go down at any time, right? So just be careful. Even with Chuck, even it looks like it's doing good. Who knows if it's going to continue to do good? Hopefully. The Last Samurai was good, but you know that was not based on historical events. There was no like English, soldier living with the samurais, But that was a pretty good movie. I'll admit that was a pretty good movie. Views on 5.3 Bitcoin theory. It's never been wrong so far. I don't know what the 5.3 Bitcoin theory is. I really don't. This seems like it's never been wrong before either. Cyberfrog. Do you remember when Verge partnered with Pornhub? I do remember. I was making fun of that a lot. Mostly because Verge was broke. So they crowdfunded like $2 million to make that partnership happen. So people actually gave $2 million to Verge just so that Pornhub would accept Verge as a token. Um, and I just laughed, and I'm like, that was the stupidest thing. Like if they were flush with cash and they wanted to throw it around, sure, but they didn't. They were broke, and they asked the community to do it. And now, does anyone talk about that? Do they even still do it? It was just pointless. In Titanic, you didn't know if the main characters would die. Well, in the commercials, yeah, they showed it. I mean, it was pretty obvious that one or both were going to die. What's another really iconic movie? You know, I recently thought of one that I wanted to show my kids, but I can't think of it anymore. There were a lot of good ones in like the late '90s, early 2000s, but I can't think of them anymore. Oh, Devil's Advocate is really good with Keanu Reeves. That movie's like really got me thinking when I was like a teenager, I think. Devil's Advocate. Yeah, you guys need to watch that if you haven't watched it. That's a really good movie. I can't think of a lot. I watched so many movies, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. If you were to ask me what my favorite movie was, I can't tell you. I don't know. Are you watching X-Men 97? You know what, I wanted to. I saw like clips of the season finale, which seems crazy, but I have not watched it. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I would wait for like X-Men Saturday mornings, but you know, there was no DVR back then, and I never really knew the schedule, so I would catch it whatever. Um, but yeah. I actually did enjoy Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when I was a kid. The first one was the best. I remember the second one was stupid, and the third one got even worse. Green Mile is really good. That's a really good one. That's a tearjerker. Do meme coins help or hurt Solana? I'd say help. It's helping a lot right now. T2, of course, is a classic. Michael Keaton as Batman. He is the best Batman, but the best movie is The Dark Knight. You can't beat The Dark Knight because of the Joker. That his performance, Heath Ledger's performance, is just too good. I don't think anyone could ever be better as Joker. Stop it with Cocaine Bear. It's such a stupid premise. I did not. I tried watching it for like the first 10 minutes and I shut it down because I remembered how stupid the premise was. So I'm like, no, I don't want to watch this. Jurassic Park, the very first Jurassic Park. Yeah, the graphics weren't the greatest, but like what they did with the T-Rex and stuff was still amazing. I mean, it's probably not CGI, isn't it? Like animatronics or whatever, but still, it was really amazing for what they accomplished back then. Toy Story, I remember. Toy Story 3, I think, was peak of Toy Story. Toy Story 4 kind of sucked. Toy Story 3 was probably the best. Fed or render, Federico asks. I would say at this point, render, but render is bigger. Fed, once they merge with Ocean and Singularity, the new ASI could be a dominant coin, but it's not there yet. Sixth Sense was really good. Sixth Sense was really good. That was like a peak M Night Shyamalan movie. That was peak for him, and then it just went downhill from there. All his other ones afterwards were okay, like The Village. That was okay, but it ended up really strange. Signs. Nicolas Cage did some good movies. I just got cut off, so I repeated myself. Con Air. Con Air was awesome. A very underrated movie. And then, was it Escape from Alcatraz? The one where him and Sean Connery. I think it was Escape from Alcatraz. That was a very good movie. Very underrated too. Maybe it's not underrated because a lot of people have watched it. The Rock, was it? Yeah, not Escape from Alcatraz. The Rock. That's a great movie. Totally forgot about that until now. Yeah, it's not underrated, but it's a great movie. I should watch that again with the kids. Best way to convert my ETH and Ledger to USD. To USD? You just have to go to a SEX, man. I don't think Ledger has any fiat integrations. You have to just go straight to Ledger. I mean, straight to like Coinbase or someone like that. Alien Base is an Aerodrome competitor, much better. I hope it's faster because Aerodrome just seems to like spin and spin and spin and not do anything. I think someone brought up Alien Base before, but it's really small. 6.6 million. National Treasure is awesome too, the first one. That's a good kids movie, a good family movie. Unfortunately, Bitcoin is showing a little weakness right now. But some of the alts are still holding pretty strong. Shamanic therapy. I have a Mexi rep because I'm one of their top affiliates, and I've been told that there will be KYC implemented June 30th. No, I mean June, not June 30th, but June. I don't know if it's beginning of June, end of June. It's going to happen. I don't know why you're like pissed off about it. It's going to happen. They already stated it's going to happen. And it's going to happen soon. So it's like you either get mad about it and then get shut out, or you do something about it, right? Like, that's just reality. It's like when KuCoin kicked me out, I didn't like it, but like if I wanted to trade, I gotta find something else. That's just reality. And Mexi has gotten so big that they don't want to be sued, so they're doing it. Well, I remember Major League. I was pretty young back then, but that was a fun movie. That was actually a fun movie. Man, that was so long ago. Charlie Sheen. Saving Private Ryan was really good too. Very sad though. Very sad. But it's very good. See, those are like good original movies. Like, where are those good original movies now? You don't really hear much about them. I feel like a lot of these movies produced before they just would never make it today. They won't make a movie like that. Rounders was good. If you like poker and gambling, Rounders was an excellent movie. All right. Well, I guess that's enough for this Friday. Overall, yeah, we may be in a market drawdown correction. But you know what? Don't be discouraged. Stay strong. There's so many good things happening in the space. And we will hit $1 million by when? By 2030. That might be conservative. All right. Smash it a like. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Dirty DJ will be tonight. And tomorrow morning, I'll see you guys 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care.